look into our backyard for a moment. There's a growing belief among some Republicans that a government shutdown is around the corner. During a closed-door meeting, the House Speaker Kevin McCarthy dropped an F-bomb directed at members of his own party who are threatening his own job. And there is now an impeachment inquiry into the President of the United States, whose son is facing federal charges. Add it all up, the Republican Congressman Mike Simpson might have hit the nail on the head, telling reporters this week how he summed up the situation to constituents. Quote, "Fasten your seatbelts because it's going to be a bleep show for 4 months." Joining us now, another veteran congressman from Texas, Waco, Congressman Pete Sessions. Sir, thank you for being back here on the Hill on NewsNation. You hear your colleague, I believe from Wyoming there, say that. Basically, he used a little bit more colorful language. Is he right? Is this just going to be a mess here in Washington for the next handful of months?
Well, Mike and I sit together during most of the votes and have a good dialogue with each other about the continuing drama that pulls itself off the floor. Mike is talking also, however, we need to understand about dealing with the Senate, dealing with the president, dealing with timeframes that come into play that are not necessarily on our side. So I think he nailed it, but let's say this. It is completely manageable if the right circumstances come together. What are those circumstances? Those circumstances are the opportunity for us to recognize that we are making this look difficult and hard. If members of Congress will come together, lay down their cards, it may not be something that is completely resolved by September 30th, but it can be resolved just as it has in months past as we move forward. We're probably going to have to take these issues one at a time, but you've got people that are just like me, conservatives, that are upset with the border, and you've got an equal number of people who are upset about spending. And so that means that the speaker in the bill that comes out of the Republican House is going to have to take into account the border and spending. And it can be done. We did this back in 2014, 13, when I was chairman of the Rules Committee. And you have to set your mark and stick to it.
Mike Simpson, Idaho, by the way. If the speaker doesn't put that together, is his job at stake?
Well, sure it is. All of our jobs are at stake, and we ought to look at it that way. We ought to look at it that people expect us to do our jobs. But I think if you look at one of your fellow networks, NBC has for over 2 years been putting up a poll that shows right track, wrong track. That right track, wrong track shows Biden administration wrong track at over 70%. Why would we refund something that is wrong track? That it's inconceivable. And so these are the kinds of things that need to be addressed. It's up to the House to do that. We're one part of the equation. I'm proud of if we live up to doing what we should do, just as we did in 2013, then we can help begin saving this country. I'm up for a fight, but I'm not up for doing the things that won't have the American people understand what we're doing.
All right, I want to ask you about Hunter Biden. Of course, the big story of yesterday, maybe even the week, and something that'll continue, at least politically. Your colleague, Matt Gaetz, Republican from Florida, sent the following tweet earlier today. He said, quote, "How are we supposed to feel if U.S. versus Hunter Biden goes all the way to the Supreme Court and becomes a landmark pro-Second Amendment decision, deeming large swaths of gun control screening or background checks questions unconstitutional? Will we be cheering Hunter?" How would you answer that question?
Well, what I would say is we already know what the law is. We already know that the Department of Justice gave him a sweetheart deal. We already know that the Department of Justice confused this issue with his father over the crime syndicate that they are both deeply involved in, and the Department of Justice is trying to pull this out. So I can't imagine that it's going to go a whole lot further. The question is, when is the Department of Justice going to recognize that people are watching and see this for what it is. And that's when we need to recognize the law is fine, but it's got to be applied in a fair way.
Congressman Pete Sessions, thank you for joining us once again. Hope you come on back. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.